As you can see from our signs, this was meant to be an emerging issues forum. We didn't have answers, and we didn't expect answers. In fact, Nicole and I kind of talked about this. How would we gauge success to our forum? One of the things that we talked about was maybe we would be really successful if everybody left and nobody was happy. Because, nobody got what they wanted. But to be honest with you, I think success is really in encouraging engagement. We have a very large potential opportunity here. You've heard from this panel. We don't control what is going on outside, but those outside influences are creating a major opportunity for us. Simultaneously, they're creating major challenges. And so what we were thinking was that the state needs to think about this. And at the very least, we're not going to come away with a solution today or tomorrow, but we felt anyway that having that conversation would actually make us better off if we could move towards some kind of conclusion. If the conclusion is, okay, we thought about it, we're not going to change anything, we'll just move on, that's still a conclusion, but we thought about it. What we really wanted to stimulate was that engagement. We've heard a lot about the concerns that people have. We've heard a lot about the opportunities. And one thing about this opportunity, it is much larger. So some of maybe what we need to do is evaluate how we do things. Some of the processes that we put in place for the last wind boom, are there some adjustments that need to be made? Because the way projects are done now, just their scale, if we talk about some of the projects that are going on now at say 320 megawatts, that would have been a monster back in 2008, 2010. That would be probably 3 times larger than almost all the projects we're talking about. Now we're not talking about 300 megawatts, we're talking about 3,000 megawatts. So there is an issue of scale, and these issues of scale then magnify the potential impacts and increase the concerns that many people have. So I think what we really need to do is step back, and we need to talk to one another. We need to engage. We need to consider these other points of view. We all come to this issue with our own lens, how we're involved in it. And a social decision like this requires thinking about many different perspectives. So with that, I think if we've accomplished that and getting people to think about this and to think about how do we want to control to a degree our opportunities and to mitigate those challenges if we can, that's something that we probably do need to talk about. We've had great ideas. We've talked about revenues. We've talked about potential concerns about siting. There are some really interesting new ideas, new tools that are coming out. We've heard about some of these siting plans that some other states are using, and that's not to say we're going into planning. It's maybe to say this could inform us about how things are changing and what we need to address. If we can just think about those, I think maybe we've been successful. And then as we think about those, if engagement continues, hopefully we can kind of struggle to find that decision that we think is best for us, given our values, given the political realities, as Jay talked about, and given the economic conditions that we have here. So with that, I'll just ask my co-convener if she has any last thoughts before we let you go.
I agree with all of that. Mostly I just want to give a number of things, but to reflect too that we heard a really wonderful diversity of perspectives over the last 2 days, but underneath all of those perspectives were some themes that I heard: a love of open space, a connection to place, a love of Wyoming, a desire to do it our way, independence. So how do we do that? How do we preserve those values while we diversify our economy, whether it's wind or something else, the many other opportunities we have? So this is just one conversation. I hope that we keep talking about that. I want to thank our fairy godmothers, Emily and Susie, Are you here? Come in, there they are. Thank you so fabulous human beings in my life right now. So thank you so much. I want to thank all of you for sharing your passion and your patience. It was a lot of information in your time for 2 days. And please travel safely and tell us what you thought. There are yellow feedback forms. So take a minute, fill them out, and then leave them with the fairy godmothers. Thank you all very much.